Piece improvement in chess. This is where the algorithms are really strong at it. Okay, so you see, most of the computers are really good in piece improvement. They play for a very long time. They play a lot of strong moves, and they keep on improving their position. So Gary said like once like about the computers, like you can't beat them, join them in his book How Life Imitates Chess. Okay, that's true. You can't beat the computers. You are going to join them. Join them means you are going to learn from them. Okay, because the computers are very strong. They don't have any emotions. First of all, they don't have emotions. They don't have frustration. They don't have anxiety. Okay, but humans they have this, but it can be reduced. Like you can calm your mind. So you can calm your mind. That is something you can practice. Okay, because we can't like exactly be like an algorithm, but our mind is also like an algorithm only. It also stores a lot of data, lot of information, and also it reacts based on that. Okay, so I will show some very good techniques like how to like perfect your thinking. Okay, like an it should be like an algorithm, but at the same time you should have some originality also. Okay, so here you can see this position. Okay, so few strong thinking methods here, and I will show what are the strength of algorithms. Algorithms like they have one specific strength. They always like deal the positional problems with tactics. When they are having positional problems, they use tactics. They solve it by tactical means. Like they always come up with tactical solution. That is where they are really strong at it. Okay, and a few ideas which matches the human strong theory level and the algorithm level. Okay, so here I'll show how to improve the pieces. Okay, here you can see we have two pawns. Here these are chain pawns, and there's a pressure on the h2. You can see there's a clear pressure on the h2 pawn, and we have the double bishop pair. These dark squares are really weak. Okay, okay, now should we attack by pushing the pawn to f4? What really happens if we push? A lot of players like pushing this. Okay, if you push, it is true that it's going to open the diagonal, this diagonal, and the bishop is coming there. But at the same time, we lose control over the e4 square. So the knight is coming to e4, and they could attack this. Okay. So what we can do is we can first play for the control over the light squares. And the best thing is to beat the knight. To beat the knight, you have to take its advanced squares where it can jump. So you can limit its activity. Mobility restriction. The algorithms are really good at it. Okay, even though it suggests a lot of moves, but you can take some choice, like which relates to these kind of theoretical ideas. Mobility restriction. So f4 actually increases the mobility, but whereas g4 restricts the mobility. So the knight is not going to jump here right now. Okay, and even if you push the pawn, you should gain some strong control over their position. Like you should try to enter into their position, create a strong hold. For now, if we play f4, the knight is going to go to e4, and this bishop is not really able to join somewhere like e3 squares. Okay, if you can achieve this position, this is certainly an improvement. Okay, so what we can do is, for now, we can play first g4 pawn push. So we can take away these squares, and there is a strong pressure, and we'll wait for the right moment to play f4. Okay, so g4, so they have to play here, so they went king g1. Okay, now the king came to the diagonal, so this bishop on d6 can improve to the dark squares. Now there's an improvement. Earlier the bishop can hold these many squares. Now you see it is taking more squares. Okay, so bishop c5 is a very strong improvement on this diagonal. Okay, now you can get access over this square also, e3, which is a stronghold. Okay, so the king won't be able to go very far, because if they go very far, we are going to take on h2. So let's say they play king to h1. Okay, now you can play f4, because now there is a difference. See, f4 is very strong now, because now also the knight is coming to e4, But there is a difference, like what you saw earlier and now. There is a difference. What is the difference? Think for a moment. Okay, the difference is earlier the bishop was on d6, but now it has chance to go to e3. That means you are creating a very strong hold in the opponent's territory, which is a very strong improvement. Okay, so you see, knight has to go to e4, and then this time we made an improvement. The bishop goes to e3. So this is a very strong improvement, strong hold, creating a very strong hold in opponent's position. So this is where you have to pay attention, like to improve your position. So how to improve your position? So these are some very strong ideas. There are so many ideas in chess, but these are few ideas. So you have to pay attention to these ideas, how to improve these improvement, because this improvement, like in small ideas like this, can create a great. I mean, can uh, make your make a great difference in your game and your thinking system. Okay, so this is where you improve a lot in chess. So bishop goes to e3. Let's say now they play knight to g3. This is tricky. Okay, okay. Now should we take on g3? The question is, should we take on g3 with the pawn? Surprisingly, here we should not take, because if we take, it looks like we are going to win the h2 pawn. But the point is, after rook takes g3, here black has two options, either to take with gh2 or rook h2. Rook h2, let's say we take, they are going to play king g1, and if we take on a2, they would go rook takes, and this is where they get counter. Pawns are reduced, not easy to win. Okay, so they are getting counterplay. Yep, and pawn takes h2. I can see black will not be able to gain control over the square in front of the pawn. So this pawn is not going to progress, because this bishop on d5 controls d square, and g4 also is not coming, and rook is tied to the defense of the h2 pawn. That means the rook also won't be able to go anywhere. So even this is not winning here. So that's why for knight g3 we have to move the bishop. Okay, we are not going to take. If you want to take the knight, we have to move the bishop. So we can move the bishop to a7. c5, if we play here, again they are going to play knight e4. That is going to again hit the bishop with the tempo. So we can go bishop to a7. Very strong. So now the knight is attacked. So bishop a7, knight has to go to f1, because if knight goes to e4, we have bishop to f5. If they go to e4, we can go bishop f5. See, if they go here, we have this. Bishop f5 is very strong. It's going to come here because this bishop is now very strong in this diagonal. Okay. So many ideas are there. So what we can do here is for bishop a7, let's say they played knight to f1. Okay, knight f1. Now how to improve the position? Look for possibilities. Okay, so this rook is attacking the h2, but still there is strong defense for the h2. So we have to improve this rook. Okay, the bishop has improvement on the diagonal, so this is a very strong improvement for the bishop, which you can do. The bishop can go to f5, because from d7 it's not able to control a lot of squares, but from f5 it can control a lot of squares. So that's a great improvement. You can do that, and that too you can do it with a tempo. So that's a good one. But this rook also can improve now. There's an open file. Now if you pay attention, you will see there's an open file now here. All right. So bishop can come anytime here. So first what we do is we can put the rook to e8. So once the rook comes to e8, the rook gets more stronger. It's going to go to e1 or e2. You see, too strong. So rook e8. So they have to defend the rank. So let's say they play rook d1. Okay. So now how can you improve here? Rook d1, we can go rook e2. Okay, this is very strong. But at the same time, we have to stop the opponent's counterplay also. Sometimes, like restrict their mobility. Restricting their mobility is like you are going to limit their possibilities. So they have possibility to push these pawns. Okay, so these pawns could come, right? So we are going to make these possibilities into zero. So what we can do is we can put it here. So you see, this is very strong idea. This is how you improve in chess. So limiting the possibilities. So this is one way to think here. So once you put the bishop there, it's going to take a lot of squares from them. And we have very strong control over the dark squares. So bishop goes to c5. Okay, now let's see what black plays here. I mean, what white plays here. After bishop c5, they have to go. They have to go. The knight here. They don't have much moves, so knight went to d2, and next piece improvement. Okay, there's a strong control over this square they have. Okay, so we want to improve. So again, we can limit the mobility, and we can make improvement. So this bishop has to go to f5. Very strong. Okay, bishop f5. So the rook is not. I mean, the knight is not able to get to the e4 square. So bishop f5 is really strong. So let's see a few options for white. Okay, let's say they play a3, a3, a3. You can actually take. There's no problem because you take. They play rook a1. Again, you can release the bishop with b4. So that it is possible to take. Okay. So you can normally take it. Okay. a5 is not really needed, but a5 was played here. a3 you can take, but a5 still you can keep the square in control. Okay, which makes sense. So a5, and now rook to f1. Okay, so the f4 pawn is attacked. So normally when you see an attack, you should not consider moves like bishop e3, immediate defense like this. Okay, so tactical defense. So the computers, as I told, they are really strong in defending the positional problems tactically. So they don't normally defend. Okay, because a lot of players normally they will push the pawn to f3, or they will play bishop d6, or they will go bishop e3, etc. But you should learn how to defend it tactically. So the tactical defenses, you see, the king's mobility is not really good. If this rook comes to f4, that gives a chance to enter there, and with the support of the bishop, we can go there. So tactical defenses, bishop to d3, quickly attacking. You see, if they take, we can go rook to e1, king g2, and we can go rook g1. So strong improvement. So see, defending the positional problems tactically. So we can go bishop to d3, and after bishop d3, now white is completely lost. So white goes rook d1. Okay, this rook, whenever this rook leaves the rank, always you get this play, right? So what we can do, based on that, we can play f3. See, you're allowing a discovered attack on d3, but no problem. You can take. Okay, because if they take, normally bishop e2 is there. That's one thing, but you can also take like this. This is another one, because if they take, we can go rook to e1. So they have problems. So again, limiting their pieces, you see, restricting. So f3. So knight goes to f1. Or you can release with this bishop with an attack. So bishop to c2, attacking these pawns. Okay, bishop c2, rook c1, we can take. And these pawns are really weak. Once the a pawn falls, we have a new passer pawn. Okay, so bishop takes b3. Let's say they attack. Okay, so they might come here in the future to attack these pawns. So we'll limit these possibilities. So you see, rook to e5, stopping all the counterplay. So knight g3 and bishop takes a3, and it's over. Now it's very easy. So you see, this pawn is going to queen. So these are some of the ideas. There are a lot of ideas to discuss. We will discuss one by one, and we can see a lot of examples. Okay, so in the upcoming lessons. Okay, thank you.